Recently I was at a pharmacy. Do you ever go to the pharmacy for medicines or toasters? I do the pharmacy these days. Anyway, I was looking for something, it's none of your business, and I couldn't find it. And you know, the aisles are marked at the pharmacy, so you know, it's like pain relief, foot care, oral sores. And you're like, that's me, ow. And then no, anyway, but I was looking for something and I saw the aisle that's called family planning, right? And that's where they sell like the condoms and spermicidal jelly and stuff. And I don't know, the term family planning really confuses me because that's where they sell the condoms. If you Google family planning, I don't know if you know what comes up, but it's family planning centers, right? And what do they offer? They offer like IUDs and the morning after pill and abortions, okay? But it's called family planning. And I guess I'm kind of a word nerd. That doesn't sound like family planning. To me, like if we had to define it, I think it's closer to a family prevention of some sort. You know, and I can prove my point. Like you wouldn't go to a party planner to find out how to not have a party. Bridget, thank you for meeting with me. I'm looking for ways to avoid having people in my home. What's that? Don't invite them. You are good. Locks! Oh my god, you're worth it $50. Like you wouldn't go to a party planner and say, I've accidentally planned a party. Oops. I was drunk. I'm gonna need to cancel that. It's in 9 months. There's one invitee. She's always crying. That's an abortion joke. So, speaking of which, I was recently, I'm Canadian. I've had like 18 abortions and they were all free. I had 2 in 1 week just because I could. So, too much. Okay. I was recently at the doctor. I went for a checkup. I think it's good to go, you know, physical. And I went in there, she sat down, she started asking me the doctor questions. You know, she starts typing. Does your doctor type? It's like the internet typing cat. Anyway, meow. So, so she's like, how much do you exercise? And I was like, oh, like 3 times a week. And she was like, how much red meat do you eat? And I was like, I try not to eat red meat. And then she was like, how much do you drink? And I was like, like 4. And then, and then she was like, are you planning to have children? And this was a tricky question for me at the time because I had just broken up with a long-term boyfriend. And also, I'm in my mid to late 30s, which is a special section of your late 30s that gets its own category. Like, let's put it this way. If my 30s were a tube of toothpaste, my life is about to get cavities. Let me be frank. I'm so deep into my 30s that I just turned 40s. So, doctor, I wish I was a drunk. Okay, so my doctor's like, you plan to have kids? And I was like, I don't know, I broke up with this guy, I'm pretty old, you know. So I was like, doesn't look good, I guess not. And then she stopped typing. She was like, yeah. And she had like a meltdown. She was like, what? Why not? And I was like, well, I couldn't just explain it. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, it's just, well, I had one and she's amazing. The fuck? Are you my professional doctor? We're at a fucking slumber party. I had one, she's amazing. I go to my doctor to find out, like, hey, what's this rash? And how much Ativan can I take? You know what I mean? I go to her professional opinion. Like when I have a doctor's appointment, I tell a friend, oh, I have a doctor's appointment, and they say, oh, are you not feeling well? I don't say, oh, no, I'm just going in to find out what makes her heart sing. Turns out it's her kid. So, what bothers me the most, though, is that there's no, like, socially appropriate recourse to that. Like, she can say that shit to me, but what if the roles are reversed? I just look like an asshole. You know, imagine I go in and she's pregnant. And I'm like, oh, you pregnant? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, are you gonna have an abortion? She's like, no, I'm like 8 months, I don't think so. And I'm like, what? Why not? No, I sorry. It's just I had one and it was amazing. You should see how much sleep I get. Also, it's 5 drinks. Okay, a little bit about myself. If I watch pornography, I'm a heterosexual woman. You should know that. And like, I've thought about trying to be like fluid. You know, they talk about fluidity and we're all whatever. I can't. If I'm fluid, I'm like a frozen molasses. So I'm just gonna stick with the men. I'm heterosexual, whatever. But if I watch porn, I watch lesbian porn. It's the only porn I watch. Mostly because it's the only porn I've found where it looks like nobody's getting hurt. And I like that. I like that about it. Also, you know, women have women parts, so they really know what they're doing with the women part. You know, you watch lesbian porn, you're like, oh, that looks nice. You know, that looks like kittens drinking milk. And it's appealing, you know. Sometimes you watch hetero porn, you're like, oh, have you ever done that before? You know, it just looks like she has potatoes in there and he's trying to mash them, you know? And, I'm not aroused. I'm hungry, but, okay, now I'm going to tell you about 2 of the worst sexual encounters I've ever had in my life, because I'm pretty sure that's why you guys came here tonight. Real quick, so, and like, referring back to my age, you know, I am single. I'm not fluid in, I'm not gonna lick a vagina, but I am trying to you know, break out of old mental prisons. And one of my mental prisons was that I never wanted to touch an anus. Like, I never wanted to get into anal play. And I have friends who are like, it's great, man. And like, I have one friend who's like, anal beads, you've got to try them back. They're amazing. Okay, what you do is you shove them up the poo hole, okay? And then when it feels really good, you pull them out. I'm like, what am I, a lamp? Anyway, so that's one story. But I and it's really immature, but in my head, I'm like, but there's poo in there. Like, I'm like worried about the poo, you know? But so many people are like, no, it's not a big deal. The poo, it doesn't happen. So, cut to fucking like break up with that guy, and then I'm like living it up. And I waited like 7 months because I couldn't find anyone. But anyway, finally he's like the 3rd AD in some TV show I'm working on. He was like 10 years younger. Anyway, okay, so I get really drunk and I'm like blackout drunk, and I come to. We're making out. This is so I shouldn't admit these things. Mostly about the drinking, not the anyway. So I come to. I wake up. And my finger is entering his anus. To this day, I have no idea if he was like, put your finger in my anus, or if I was like, I'm gonna mix things up tonight. So, all I know is that my finger's headed in there and it's too late, there's no turning back. Put my finger in his asshole. And he takes a dump in my hand. A shart. Not a hard little turd, a dump. And I feel it entering my hand. I keep going. I'm like, people say it's fun. You know, like, what? And he's like moaning still. I didn't want to wreck it. It's awkward. So, I don't know, finally finishes or something. I can't remember what was happening. And then eventually I'm like, I have to go pee. And I walked to the bathroom like this. And anyway, I washed my hands for like 18 minutes. And then, there was shit over. Anyway, so then I come back and then he's like, oh, I have to go pee too. And then he goes to the bathroom and probably has a shower. And anyway, my favorite part about this is that the next day, I tell my friends and they're like, oh my God. What did you say? And I'm like, nothing. You don't talk, what was I to say? John, do you know anything about this? John, sorry, did you take a dump in my hand? I think some things are better left unsaid, you know, and I'm pretty sure The first person who ever said that, somebody had just taken a dump in their hand. Anyway, okay, and then real quick, I'm just going to talk about the other worst experience. Somehow, does that mean like 2 minutes, 1 minute, 2? Get up? Okay. So I'll tell the story. So real quick, a little backstory. They're teaching consent in schools now in Canada as part of the sex ed curriculum, which I think is great. They're teaching consent. You guys are more into assault. That's cool. So they're teaching consent, and it was like this big deal. Parents were getting real. Some conservative parents were like, consent, because they're teaching in like the first grade, right? And I know that sounds weird, and the conservative parents are like, oh, they're picturing tiny penises and tiny vaginas. Like, Susie, can I fuck you? But you can consent is like a universal principle, right? You can teach that in any way, like first grade. You know, like Susie, can I borrow your crayons? Ask Susie. If she says yes, you can borrow my crayons, it means you can borrow her crayons. If she says no, it means she's a frigid bitch. And there's your first lesson in consent. Anyway, I hear a specialist on the radio talking about consent, and she was like, in this day and age, you can't give consent if you've been drinking, which means I've assaulted several people. Also, the only acceptable form of consent is an explicit yes. Which also, I don't think once in my life I've ever said, like, yes! You may enter! Unless maybe the guy was like, oh, do you want to get Chinese food after this? I'd be like, yes! But not at the entrance. Anyway, and then the last thing she said was that you should always check in with your partner. She was like, if you're kissing your girlfriend, stop and say, do you like that? Do you like that when I kiss you? Now that sounds fine from a sex ed teacher on the radio, but I feel like if I was kissing a guy and he stopped and he was like, do you like that? Do you like that when I kiss you? I'd be like, are you trying to assault me right now? What's going on? So, but I make fun, and then I realize now there are times in my life I could have used a check-in. And this is the worst sexual experience I've ever had. For me, it was worse than the poo. I meet a guy in OkCupid. We go on a second date. I never want to see him again, but I'm like, he's in my house. Well, I should have sex. So we start having sex. I get a karma for having casual sex because we start having. It's the worst. It is the worst sex because he is a jackhammer. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yes. Okay. So some of the men laugh too. I'm like, if you know, then that's bad. Okay. So, but if you don't know, it's very fast and very hard with little subtlety. Okay. And some people are, oh, I thought some ladies liked to bang it, and some do. Just maintain eye contact. Anyway, so he's fucking ramming me, and let me put it this way: if he's a jackhammer, I'm the sidewalk. And he'd been hired by the city to get rid of the sidewalk. They didn't want that there anymore. And I realized now I could have used a check-in. If he just stopped and said, do you like that? Do you like that when I break your vagina? I'm Rebecca Kohler. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. It was a great show.
Rebecca Kohler.